Hello and welcome to my classroom. It's that time of the year when I start to think about what I want to keep for next year and what I want to change for next year. Sometimes I get these grand ideas over the summer and I'm like, this is gonna be amazing, and then it just flops. Anybody else like that? Hit that like button if I'm not alone in that. If you're new around here, my name is Rachel Vincent. I'm a 4th grade teacher in South Carolina, and I love sharing ways to help teachers simplify their classroom and their teaching, and I also like to simplify my own classroom. So we are adding a new wing to our building, brand new, and that is where I will be moving next year. So I have already begun thinking about all the things about packing up this classroom, moving to a new classroom. I've been in furniture meetings trying to decide on the different furniture we're gonna get for our new wing, and just my mind is already in next year, so I'm trying to figure out what am I gonna do the same, what I'm gonna do different, and I'm gonna take you along to show you what I love about this year that I'm definitely keeping for next year and what needs some changing or some tweaking. Okay, I hope you can see this, but the number one thing I am keeping is I've always had this space for students to gather in front of the Promethean board with the couch. Definitely keeping this space because one of the things I love to do is pull them all close to me, and this year I bought this chair, which is a little bit lower than a normal chair, and it has been amazing. I felt like I have just been sitting with the kids when I read to them, when we learn, when we have our slides. It's really just in the morning. I let them come in the afternoons if they want during math time. It's just been fantastic, and I will continue to have this setup again next year. Another thing that's been really well is this chart for stickers. I've seen it all over social media. I at first was like, yeah, it is what it is, but I did this year, and because everyone can see them all the time, they want them all the time. And so what I use this mostly for is our incentive rewards for their groups. So this little game board I purchased on TPT. I will link it below. It's from somebody else's store. But each of our tables has a different, and they move up the game board as they transition quietly or whatever. And what I really love about this system is the fact that I don't have to remember. So one of the things that I really love about that game board is the fact that normally I did group tallies or something like that, and I'd give them a prize at the end of the week or something, some sort of reward. I did really well at the beginning of the year with remembering to do tallies, and then as I get going, I forget. And so the way this works is because it's never ending. So wherever they are, once they get to the top, they go and get a sticker, and then they go back to the bottom and start all over. So they're just constantly moving up. So if somebody has a table member who doesn't do very well and causes them not to get as many points, it's not that big of a deal because eventually they'll get there. That everybody will eventually get that prize. And it's just really it's something I will keep for years to come. So right beside my teaching area down here is my desk. And I really love this setup that I have this year where it's like an L shape. My laptop is here. I have my document camera right there. So I'm gonna come over here so you can see. I really love this setup because it is easy. I don't have to constantly move things out of the way to use it. It's right here in front of the board. So when kids are working here, they can see what I'm doing on the board, or even if they're at their seat, they can see. This setup has just worked wonderfully. Something else that has worked really well is the what do I need. When they transition back from PE and music, I will have these up on the board so they know what books to get out or whatever it is we may need. Glue, because we're gluing in our notebooks. These match their math notebooks. We have 2 different volumes of math books so they always know which one to get. I'll put the page number down here. This is just has a one central location so that anytime a kid's like, what do we need? I just point to the board and they know where to get it. I made these all in Canva this past summer, and so I'll even put glue stick or a pencil just so everyone knows what they need to get out. It works really well for our transition, especially after our related art time when they're coming back into the classroom. So another thing that's working really well this year is our ELA notebook. I used to have a reading and a writing notebook or a reading and a grammar. I just put it all in ELA. So we have our reading section, our writing notes, our grammar notes, and our word study. These have been the same. We had 2 separate notebooks for them, so those have been fine. Adding the grammar notes has been so helpful this year. So they go through all of our standards each week that we teach a new grammar skill. I created these this summer to go along with our standards exactly, and has everything they need. It's been so nice so that when they are doing these sheets each week. This is our language review that they do every week. They're from One Stop Teacher Shop. They are amazing. They cover so many skills in one day, and it's perfect to review all year long. So they are ready for our benchmarks and state testing. And so when they forget something, I can direct them to their grammar notebook section, and they know what to do to be able to do this correctly. Last year, I used this language wall, which was actually here, and I was really good about putting those posters up, but because my small group table is here, kids were constantly up there. Back here was a better choice because they can come to the back counter and look up here, but honestly, like, these are great posters, and I like them, they've worked well, but their grammar notes have more details, and so it's actually more helpful, so I am considering not even having that up for next year. I'm still thinking on this one. So those are the things that are working really well in my classroom. I would encourage anyone to use them. They've just worked out really well. I highly recommend it if you want to try something similar. I've linked down below anything you might need that is available on TPT from other sellers. I don't think I really shared anything that's from myself that I've created. I did create those. I just saw real life posters are falling. I'm not even gonna redo this clip to, it is what it is. Welcome to springtime in the classroom. Forgot what I was saying. The grammar notes, I do hope to one day put them on TPT. I would like to say I will do it this summer, but I'll try. I do have the tabs already on TPT. I was able to get those up last summer. It is my goal to get those up this summer, so we'll see. Some of our math notes from our notebook, I feel like they need a visual in the classroom. So what I started doing was taking the actual notes that they glue in and putting them up on our cabinets. And it's just above our multiples posters, which they look at all the time, they reference those. But I would like to make these a little bit bigger so that they will fit up here. And I think I would like to make this whole section, even though this is not the classroom I'll be in, we're supposed to have something exactly like this in our new classroom. So a little bit bigger so that they can actually see it from across the room with some of those words that they forget all the time, like prime and composite, factors and multiples. That's definitely something I'm gonna work on this summer to kind of update that, change that for next year. Something else that I really love, I created these start the day and finish the day procedure charts, which were really great for the beginning of the year when we were setting the expectations. They were really great for when I need to reinforce, like maybe they're doing it out of order, or like a lot of times they don't make their lunch choices, and so I'm like, that's the third thing you're supposed to do before you even sit down and get busy on your work. So I love these. I will keep them. I just think they take up way too much room on this wall. They're too big. I'm considering doing what I do with my lineup procedure. It's just a regular size paper that I can hang up on the wall, because this one I have on display on the board in the morning along with what they're supposed to do. And maybe I should do that in the afternoons. Put it on the board so they know what to do. That's a possibility. Speaking of lunch numbers, first of all, I love having it here beside where I have to send in our lunch count. So I love that. That will definitely be something I want to make sure it's near to where I can see, because it used to be over there and I couldn't see on the other side of this board when I'm sitting here. But number one, this is too high for some of my shorter kids. So I want to bring it, I think do it more vertical instead of horizontal lines. Second of all, these numbers are terrible. So they can't peel them off very well. And so then they start peeling on to try, like, look at that one. Like they can't pull them off the board in order to move them. I gotta do something different. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but something different. And these poor callbacks. I have this. On my Visionary of the Week is supposed to pick a new one each week. I have a whole little selection, which I love these pockets, by the way, that they're supposed to choose. So I've tried to be that callback teacher, and I'm just not. I started off great, but it has fizzled because I don't get their attention like that very often. I don't know, like there's sometimes when they get too loud and I need to bring their volume down, but even then I just don't need a callback. And if I do, I just want one callback for the whole year. I don't need to change it up every week. So I'm gonna nix that all together because it just hasn't worked at all. I do my doorbell when we transition, which has been fantastic. The callbacks, they gotta go because it does not work for me. I've already said that I'm changing classrooms, and I have had this sort of black and white, bright colored decor. I've had it for a long time. can see it all around. And I have transitioned a little to taking some of that color out. For instance, I transitioned all of my schedule to just be black and white. I had all this before, so I didn't reprint that, but I upgraded this calendar pocket, so I made all those black and white. I've kind of muted I used to have color along with this. I've gone to a more muted color. I want to lessen some of the color. But I'm like, okay, do I want to go all black and white? Is that what I want my color scheme to be? I used to have color fans hanging for each table. Each table was a different color. I've moved away from that. This year they're table numbers instead of colors. I'm just trying to figure out how to, like this back wall, I feel like it's too much color. I'm thinking of my multiples posters of making them all black and white. Those will be smaller, so I think that will help. I'm probably gonna do a different poster or a different quote up there. I will keep that color. I'm considering changing my place value poster and maybe some of these things on the board, I don't know. And I'm probably gonna get rid of this magnetic border that's colorful. I'm probably gonna get rid of this thing when I move. I'm gonna keep rainbow drawers just because I like those drawers. They are quality, they are wide, they're staying. I'll probably keep those just because it's just a good quality. I'm not getting rid of every single amount of color. I'm considering getting black book boxes. I'll probably get rid of things like this little banner. Like obviously the books will be colorful because books are colorful. So I'm just curious what your thoughts are. I don't want it to be sterile. I want it obviously to be a warm, I'm gonna prop you up here. I want it to be still inviting, but I just feel like there's so much going on that sometimes I think their attention spans, I think it would help so many kids have focus and ADD now that I just feel like it would be more beneficial. I don't know. I'm still playing around with that idea. Maybe I just need, instead of rainbow, just one color. What I do think will help, and I'm gonna turn you around again and show you this, is I have a lot going on up here. In our new classrooms, our Promethean board will be on the wall and we'll have 2 whiteboards on either side. And as my understanding, we'll have cubbies, we'll have cabinets, that in this space will be another board. That is my hope and prayer, because like all of our date, our visionary of the week, all of those things, plus lunch count number, I would like to move back there so that when they're looking at me teaching or the board, it will be very plain. That's the hope. Now, I don't know if we're getting bulletin boards like this, I don't know, but just looking at this on camera, like, cause I was debating if I wanted to go all white with those colors. I think I do. I think I wanna go all white there. Because this is all white and it's, even though it's busy, I don't feel like it's as distracting as that with the color in your face. I don't know, you guys let me know in the comments what you think. That's where I'm at. Those are the things I'm keeping. Those are the things that I'm not doing next year. And some of them are just ideas. I'm trying to figure out what to do, how everything's gonna look. Do I want muted colors? I don't know. It's just part of the process and I'm already thinking about that, and our year's not over. But that's just the kind of person I am. Some people can compartmentalize. I'm already thinking about next year and what I want to do differently. A lot of the stuff that I shared with you today, I created over the summer in Canva, and I share all about that in one of my classroom setup days that I actually did from home this past summer. So if you would like to check that, it is on your screen now.